You had a good weekend?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Football's back.
I had a great weekend.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Firstly, we should say a big thanks to everyone at Crystal Palace Selhurst Park that looked after you and I on Friday.
Yeah.
Because we did our Friday show from there, and it was just fantastic.
Can you remember what I said the score would be?
I think you said 2-0.
I did say 2-0.
Yeah. You got that bang on.
Go on, the
but they were great. They were absolutely fantastic. They looked after us.
The lamb was lovely.
What was?
The lamb.
The lamb. I had the chicken and all the goujons we stole as well.
No,
they were nice.
No, don't try to put me in that.
Hold on. You said to me, go and get me some. Because you were scared, and I got them. And then that waitress very kindly went, do you want an old bowl? And I went, yeah, nice, love one. They were nice. And you could only see about 3/4 of the pitch as well.
It was a big, obviously Selhurst Park was that big pillar thing in front of me.
It's bizarre that you still get grounds like that. It's great to see.
It was worth it though.
Yeah, you know what was interesting is I listened to Gabby on the phoning show, the very first phoning show with Jamie Hull, which was fantastic, by the way. I listened to that. Gabby said, talking about Arsenal in the first 45 minutes, that was the best performance of the weekend for 45 minutes. I'm like, I mean, you and I were there. I think you see a totally different game of football when you're actually at the ground. 15 minutes, Arsenal were good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the whole half.
It likened them to Barca in 2011.
Yeah, no, I'd probably say for the first 30 minutes they were brilliant, weren't they? Absolutely superb.
Yeah.
Arsenal moved the ball. So listen, that would be one of the performances in that 30 minutes of the weekend.
It's okay.
But
I was sat there going, Benny, this is unbelievable.
But when you look at the way that Manchester City toyed with West Ham,
we'll talk about that in a moment.
Incredible.
I think Palace have got problems this season. I know it's early days.
It's really early.
Everything goes down the left-hand side to Wilf Zaha, understandably.
They had big chances, Palace, by the way.
They did.
Obviously, the Edouard header probably should score.
Yeah.
And then the Eze chance, good save from Ramsdale, but he's got to score that great pass from Zaha. But listen, Arsenal had to ride their luck. I thought Saliba was brilliant when he was the centre half.
Yeah, I thought Gabriel alongside him that wearing the 6? I thought he was fantastic.
Both of them.
They look great. They look great, yeah. So, anyway, we'll talk about that a bit later on. Also, we'll talk about Eric Dyer's fine form. Great goal as well. Spurs look good. We'll be asking the question whether or not he should, without a doubt, not only be in England's World Cup squad, but also be at the heart. I think if they play a 3 England, he's got to be in that 3. Eric Dyer.
What, alongside Stones and Maguire?
Maguire, maybe. But I think...
No, but where's Walker?
Okay. I think Eric Dyer has to go. And I think he has to start for England.
So you'd go Walker, Maguire and Dyer?
Maybe. I'd put Dyer. Dyer's my first choice at the moment.
You're crazy.
Why?
In that 3, Walker would be the first choice.
Okay, yeah, fine. You're right. No, you're right. If you're not playing... Although you're now talking about playing Trent wing-back.
Yeah.
Defensively, there are question marks over Trent at the weekend.
Do you know what? Defensively, I get that, but I've been there, right, where you're marking at the back post, and I remember before, Andy Carroll was behind me, right? Okay, well, he's a mountain. But what I did was I just jumped ridiculously early. So I was already up there. So by the time he tried to come over the top of me, there was nowhere for him to really go. Whereas Trent, he would have known that Mitrovic was behind him. And it's one of them where you jump, but you think, I don't really want to jump here because Mitrovic is coming, and it was a great header. Great performance from him.
Let's stay with that. We'll talk about Man United a bit later on if we've got time. Hopefully we won't.
No, we have time. Why don't we start with that now? How are you feeling about that result?
We haven't got time. It's the middle hour. We're going to start 5
How are you feeling about that, though?
Awful. Let's start. One of the questions we're asking, is it the return of the big old-fashioned number 9? And you mentioned Mitrovic there. Yeah. I said to Andy Jacobs, just as he left the studio, because United have been linked to Arnautovic.
Bonkers. It's just a recruitment.
And Rabiot. I mean...
Rabiot's a good player. He's a good player. But Arnautovic, 33.
Arnautovic is...
West Ham didn't even want him back.
And Stoke don't want it. I mean, I mean, honestly, if someone at United is listening, right, please don't do that. Yeah. Please don't do that. Please. There are other options in the world. But I said to Andy Jacobs, his team, Chelsea, my team, Man United, Mitrovic, I think he'd be a fantastic addition to any big side. Do you not?
You say that, but I don't know.
He's a handful.
Listen, remember, we're talking of, he got 2 goals. The last time he was in the Premier League, didn't go so well.
No, he didn't.
But I've always said with Mitrovic, if you give him the opportunities and you play to his strengths, he will score goals at any level. He's Serbia's all-time record goal scorer.
Yeah.
So if you score goals internationally, that tells you something. At the weekend against arguably the best centre-back on the planet, he gave him the toughest time I've seen someone give Virgil van Dijk in a long time. Would he fit into Chelsea's system? I'm not sure, but Chelsea right now just needs someone to finish off chances, and that could be him. Yeah. But I think he's happy where he is at Fulham. I mean, I know, but
if a side like Chelsea or Man United...
You think, he wouldn't have to move house?
Chelsea, yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? We'll have to move house, but Mitrovic at the weekend for Fulham, and fair play to Fulham. I expected Liverpool to blow him out of the water. It would have been the wrong result if Liverpool nicked it. Henderson had a shot, hit the bar towards the end. That would have been unfair. They are in a completely different place for them than they were. I remember the last time they were up opening day of the season, got absolutely smashed by Arsenal, 3-0. I said, they're going down. They went down without a whimper. They were awful. This time around, it's almost like Marco Silva's gone, no, We've learnt from the mistakes. I wasn't there then, but I'm here now. And the way that they went at Liverpool made it difficult for them, got in their faces. And you know that they've got under Liverpool's skin when Jurgen Klopp comes out and starts talking about the pitch is too dry. That's when you know.
And then Fulham tweeted, fair play to them, pictures of all the sprinklers on.
Exactly, but Fulham...
Pitch is too dry.
Too dry. But Fulham, well played.
They were great. So listen, we're going to talk about number 9. So we have to talk about Haaland. I mean, he was exceptional.
Wow.
I said before a ball was kicked, I expect him to get over 30 league goals. I stand by that.
You thought they'd struggle against West Ham, didn't you? You said to me on Friday.
Did I?
You said...
was it on air?
Yeah, on air. You said...
I don't think I said that.
No, you said, I think it'd be difficult. And I went, no chance.
I think you just put in words in my mouth.
But
West Ham, they didn't threaten at all. Last season, it was a totally different West Ham against Man City. They didn't threaten at all, West Ham. They'll be disappointed. But Haaland, he looks strong, he looks fast.
Do you know what it is, right? And I was speaking about this earlier. It is like the evolution of the old school centre forward, because we're in a kind of era where centre forwards, certainly nowadays, all they want to do is come off the feet, get the ball into feet, turn, link play, bring others into play. Whereas you look at Haaland, he's the old school fashioned centre forward that wants to run in behind. Now the only one I can think who does that consistently and is still scoring goals now is Jamie Vardy, and that's because all he does is simply he just running behind, and defenders are just not dealing with it anymore. But Haaland's goals, I mean, the goal where Gundogan turns, first and foremost, only that type of player like Gundogan would do that in that area. The pass, the acceleration to go around the goalkeeper, to keep his composure, to score the penalty. But the second one, the pass from De Bruyne, was almost like Haaland's run is telling De Bruyne, without him shouting it, put the ball there.
It's like a through ball you play on FIFA.
Yeah.
It was just... I thought throughout the whole game, Kevin De Bruyne
That's
was
something
fantastic.
you work on in the week. When Haaland sees De Bruyne in that area, he hasn't even got a shout. He knows.
Yeah.
The weight of pass was perfect, but even the finish, to run round the ball and just stroke it into the far corner.
There aren't that many players that when they're in that position... And the way he opened his body up, by the way, was awesome.
Incredible. He could have gone either way then.
There aren't that many players that when the ball comes to them and it's one-on-one, you'd bet your house on. He's definitely one. Probably Harry Kane's another as well. There aren't that many players, but he's certainly one of them.
He is.
He's fantastic.
There are certain centre-forwards that go through, and I'll give you an example. If Timo Werner goes through then, you're thinking... you're probably more hoping that if you're a Chelsea fan, you think, I hope he scores, rather than he'll score. You go, When Haaland went through there, the moment he went through, I went, this is a goal.
Great.
This is a goal.
Nunez came on as well. He changed it, I thought, for Liverpool. So we're talking about the old school number 9s. We've got Callum Wilson as well, who's back in action. So that's the question we're going to start with. We'll talk Man City.
Ivan Toney got one as well.
Ivan Toney, of course. We'll talk about Man City. We'll talk about West Ham. And we'll talk about the return of the old school number 9. Do you think it's back now? Because there are two sides that I think are going to struggle, perhaps, without the number 9. That's certainly Manchester United, who played Eriksen as a false 9, and Chelsea as well. Do you think that maybe the number 9 is the way to go this season?
Yeah, it certainly seems it. I mean, it's just nice to see a bunch of centre-forwards scoring goals on the opening day that are actually naturally centre-forwards, because for the last couple of seasons you'd have Kane, but then you'd have Salah coming from wide. Jota, I think, was in there last season. So, yeah, it's going to be a real battle of number 9s for the Golden Boot.